Hello, I hope you're having yourself a great day. In my last episode, I had shared the name of my van, which is LARS, and stands for God Has Helped. Now, I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person. So in this video, I'm going to share how God helped, as well as give you a van tour on how I live and function within this capsule of mine. So at first, I didn't actually think that I was getting any help, period, from God. I had so many issues going on at the first time with this van. One was the low ball trade-in that I got from my car for the van. The other was the tire pressure gauge light. It had come on. I took it back to the dealership and they checked it out and said nothing was wrong with it. So they just put some more air into that one tire. And about 10 days after that, the same thing happened again. And they ended up finding an actual nail in the tire. They just overlooked it, I guess, the first time. So anyways, that got all fixed up. But in between those two tire issues, I had left to go to work, and there was an RCMP officer parked next to my van. And he had informed me that somebody had smashed in my passenger window. So, of course, I had to go get that fixed. Then I was taking my sister for a drive in my van. I was so excited. And she couldn't put her seatbelt on. So, I ended up finding out that there was glass shards inside the seatbelt case. So, of course, got that all cleaned out and fixed. So now that works properly. It was just like one thing after another after another. I was just getting so frustrated. And it was probably, a month and a half after I got the van when COVID hit. So, of course, I had to shut my business down. I was like, what am I going to do? And I was like, oh, my gosh. I'm like, Well, they ended up calling all the healthcare workers back to work. Well, I guess there was an attempt to do that. I don't know. But anyways, I decided if you're going to do that to me, I am not doing it here near my home. I'm just not. I will go somewhere else to work. So I took off to the Sunshine Coast and I went to all those places and had offered my help. But they're like, we don't need any help. There's no issues here or anything like that. It's like, okay. So I went back home and started making plans on what to do because I can't run my business and they don't seem to want me in healthcare. So I know what I'm gonna do. I've got a van. I can travel in it. Let's go and explore British Columbia for 2 months because that was one of the bucket list things that I always wanted to do. So I started making plans to do that. That was pretty exciting. But I wasn't sure what to do about my place. It's like, do I keep it while I'm gone? Because I was going to take 1 month of just driving around on the island to make sure that everything that was in my van was stable and would, hold together. So I wouldn't have any issues while I was actually traveling for the 2 months. So yeah, it was like 3 months that I wouldn't be living in my place. Do I want to pay rent for that? And I was like, humming, wasn't too sure. And at this point I had already just basically been letting the universe guide me, so I was letting the universe do that for me too. And I ended up seeing a post on Facebook from a friend who had stated that one of their friends in the area that I lived in needed a place to live. And I was like, you know what? You tell your friend to give me a call because I'm about 85% sure that I'm going to be moving out of my place. That is when she told me it's actually one of your massage clients. I was like, oh. And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I called her up and told her, guess what? You're moving into my place. And she's like, oh, what? The suite next to you? Because there was an empty suite next to me, but it wasn't one that I would recommend anyone to live in. It had very, very low ceilings. So I was like, no, you're going to be moving into my suite. She's like, what? I says, yeah, I'm going to go into my van and go travel around and so on. And I'll figure things out when I get back. She's like, oh, wow, really? And so that's how that transpired. And I realized that I'm letting go of my place. So I ended up taking everything that I owned and put it into storage, minus the things that I was going to utilize in my van. And yeah, that was about a week to a week and a half from the time I told her she was moving in to the time I moved into my van. So it happened pretty darn fast. I took that 1 month and made sure everything was stable, and took off for the 2 months and had the most incredible road trip ever. And that is also too when I had made my decision to challenge myself to 1 full year in my van. And we are 4 years in now, minus 2 jobs that I had with accommodation. So maybe a year between those 2 jobs that I didn't actually live in my van. But trust me, I very much long to do so. Here we go. I'm going to give you a overview of what my van looks like now. I will also try to share a picture and explain how it used to be laid out, because I did make quite a change this past year and a bit, and how I function in my van compared to what I did at one time. Let me take you on a tour of my home. First, I have my storage for my massage sheets, as well as my laundry detergent and stuff I need for that, where I keep my shoes. So I ask you to leave your shoes right here, please. I want you to imagine putting everything that you need to survive for a whole entire year, living through all the seasons, on a piece of plywood that's 8 feet by 4 feet. And you can only go up to 3.5 feet, but you still need to make sure that there's space for you to be able to move around in. So this here, I would say, is my living room by day and my bedroom by night. In the corner there is Lola. I'll introduce you to her in a little bit. And then we have a pillow and blankets, and I store my bath sheets in the pillowcase here. This is what under my mattress looks like, and it's actually made from a shelving unit I used to have in the van, so I upcycled it to make a bed. And then I just store my clothes underneath here. I have 3 wood bins underneath that go right across either side. I have another one there with my hoodies. I even have some stuff in some plastic bags just to keep it protected from dust and stuff, because it's not things I wear as often. And then I got my pants there. What I used for a mattress was a queen size 4-inch foamy that I cut in half, and it's the foam and memory foam as well, and just stacked them together. So this here is my camping chair. I seem to use it more for storage than I personally use it. Of course, held by bungee cords. As I said, that's how my van is held together. Bungee cords everywhere. I have my hiking pack here, which I also utilize as a hanger. I do like to keep my keys close by at night, especially for the panic button, just in case an intruder tries to break in, more so the bears. Down all under here is where I keep my toiletries and any of my extra supplies for bathroom stuff, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste. This is like a necklace tray. A lot of those necklaces were given to me from friends. I don't wear necklaces as much anymore, but I still like to keep them. And then, of course, some reusable bags. This here is the Jackery. It does all my power charging for my cell phone and fans and all that fun stuff. Also utilize a heating blanket. This here is for the solar panels to charge the Jackery. And this cord here is the 12 volt. So I have it running up underneath this carpet here, and then it hooks up down in there. That 12 volt only works when my van is running. That way I don't drain my battery. And of course I like to burn incense because it can smell pretty bad in here from cooking and stuff like that. And then this is like a little storage bin of food, appliances, and books and office stuff. Then we have the garbage can, which I utilize as a table. I store my sunglasses here. And then I have a nice little rock collection and seashells and other little knickknacks given to me. My smudging stuff and crystals and the Buddha. Yeah, I love all that type of stuff too. And then down here is just books and a couple other things I got stored back there. This here is a shelf that my dad made when he was in high school. He passed away 30 years ago. So it was a piece that I made sure that was included in my no-build van build. Then I have my cook stove, pots and pans with some spices. And then I have another one underneath that has more food storage. Then we've got my storage bins held together by a bungee cord. Hey, it keeps it in place. That's what matters. So dry goods, cutlery, bowl plates. Then we have the cooler. And then underneath I have 3 storage bins that go across there, keeping the cooler up above and giving me some extra storage. I have decided to continue staying with the old-fashioned cooler over a 12-volt. Reason being is I don't think that I can provide and make enough electricity to accommodate a 12-volt fridge and keep it running at all times. I only have the one power bank. It's a 1,000 watt, and I don't have room for another one. Maybe in the future I might get a bigger one, and who knows, that might change my idea about getting a 12-volt fridge. But in the meantime, I just continue using the good old-fashioned cooler and buy ice anytime that I need it. In the summer, yes, it's hotter, so I go through ice a lot faster. One block usually lasts me about 2 days in the hot summer months. As the temperatures start to cool, the ice lasts a little bit longer. So in the winter time, it's about a week to a week and a half that I actually have to go get a new block. And then here we have the stool. It's not just any stool. This is where my porta potty is. So it's nice and handy. I use this bag inside. It's called a double duty, and it is a bag within a bag. When I started traveling and living in my van, it was the beginning time of COVID, and there was no access to public washrooms, and maybe the odd outhouse. And of course, you can't always come across outhouses everywhere you go. So I ended up buying myself a porta potty. And how do I take care of that? Well, that bag that I showed you, I use that for about 4 to 7 days. And then I do go to an outhouse and I dispose of the contents into the toilet. Then I put that black bag into the gray bag and I zip it up and throw it in the garbage. Over here, I've got paper towel and cleaning supplies, water, and up in behind here is toilet paper, paper towel, garbage bags, all that type of stuff. And this here is my living space. Now let me introduce you to Lola. I used to be an activity programmer with dementia, Alzheimer's, in a care home. I had Lola made for entertainment purposes, and as a little keepsake for me, of course, too. I used to put a speaker inside of her and walk around the units and play all the favorite songs that they remembered from their times. Used to put such big smiles on their faces, so much joy. So Lola was specially made for me. This fabric here was my grandmother's. It was a doily, and I had it under a plant, and I guess it had leaked and started to rot some of the material. So I decided to salvage what I could, and this was the idea that was come up with. It's even down in her tutu here. And this is all created by the Mushroom Door. And you can find her on Facebook. I will leave a link in the description of her page. She's got some really neat things that she creates. My great-grandmother made this. There's just some things I couldn't let go of and had to keep. I have little mementos all throughout my van. Now I'll take you on an outside tour. So I do have an awning here, which I honestly thought I was going to use more than what I am, but I still like to use it when I get the opportunity. I just don't seem to stay still long enough to be able to do so. I'm constantly in motion, hence Curly's on the move. I am staying down a dirt road right now, so I'm always getting dusty. Here's the back. So just my massage table on the one side. On this side, my water jug, and I have it sitting up on a crate here. And in that crate, I actually have curtains to go around my awning, so I have some privacy. It works great too, and I'm at a picnic table. I can cover in the sides and still have the great view in front of me. And it's also where I store my jugs of massage oil. Then on this side, we have a little bit more storage down here. So office, first aid, sewing kit, paddles, you know, little this and that. On the front passenger side, I guess you can call this my garage. So I just got all the winter stuff, boots, an extension cord for my Jackery when I want to charge it on electricity, yoga mat, tools, all that type of stuff's all tucked in there. Underneath this blanket is where I keep the solar panels for the Jackery. I've got 2 of them. And then this tote bin. And that's just another storage space. I try to utilize every little bit that I could of my van. And now for the driver's side. I did clean up a bit, but of course, lots of wear and tear going on. I store stuff up underneath there. There's my shoes. Yes, I do have a mouse trap in here. Mice will get into your home every so often. And I did take out my middle console. I'll show you where I actually put it, because I never did when I was back there. And I just have this going across as a little table I could put my phone and stuff on. It's easy for me to move it out of the way, and then I can climb from front to back that way if I need to in emergencies. I put the console down here as part of the toiletry storage. So I have some reflect text that I put up on the window at night. It's painted black on one side, just to kind of give myself a little bit more privacy of people looking at my van. Not that I'm trying to be stealth, because in all honesty, there really isn't such a thing. People know. And it's also great for insulation type thing, so it keeps me a little bit warmer through the winter months. And the other thing I use to keep it all together is binder clips. Put that up, and then we slide this curtain over. And then I use the binder clips to put it up into place like that. And there's my side curtain. So I have this divider between the front and the back. And it's hooked by bungee cords too. So I can unlatch it back here, and it will just drop down. And if I need to get into the front to get away or whatever, it's just quicker access for me to get back and forth. Though I do prefer to go through the doors. So this blanket, so I have 2 blankets that go over here just to get that extra thickness. Once again, more insulation, especially for that winter time. And I take this top blanket and I put it over the front seats here. And the visor that's up above here, I just tuck the blanket up into that. This is what it looks like tucked up in the visor there. Then I bring it and tuck it in where the other curtain is, and that covers the seal down. And this isn't even the original design of the van layout. Let me try to explain what it looked like before. The way I used to have my van laid out was my bed was this way on the floor, not raised like it is now. My massage table was here for the access out the side door. My dad's shelving unit's pretty much where it is now. The shelving unit that is now my bed was right in there. And then I had another shelf that went across this way that I used for my outdoor kitchen. My cooler has always been in this spot. My porta potty I used to store on the shelving unit with some bungee cords to hold it in place. That there is my home and how I live. Anyways, till next time, take care of yourself. Enjoy your life. Bye-bye.